Hey, nerds, welcome to Under the Hood, where we talk about movies and TV shows and pop culture and things that we're big fans of. I'm Tejas, Jishnu, and Dinkar. Sup, guys? It's the first episode. I'm really excited.
So excited.
Hello.
Yes, and I felt it is prudent to begin with a movie that is blowing nerds' minds all over the planet right now. We're talking about the Joker film. It's just called Joker.
It's called Joker.
It's so hard to say. Have you seen Joker film? It's weird. No, it's bizarre. So we're really excited about it for a bunch of reasons, which we're going to get to. But something I just want to talk about was this Infinite Crisis or Crisis on Infinite Earths, which the DC TV shows are doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It would be so amazing to get Mark Hamill actually play a live-action Joker, considering the fact that they're giving Kevin Conroy to play the Bruce Wayne.
That would be really cool.
Why wouldn't they do that? That's the Joker movie we need, man. One thing that sets the DC films apart from the Marvel Cinematic Universe and other franchises is that they've had distinct eras. There's the Christopher Reeves Superman era, the Tim Burton Batman era, which turned itself into the Joel Schumacher era and gave us a masterpiece that is Batman Forever, the Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, and those are just some of the bigger ones. There's also the DC animated film universe, one of our personal favorites, and of course, the DC EU. Not EU, EU, the DC Extended Universe, which has been playing out the last few years. We are here to talk about the new film, Joker. Where does it fit into all of these categories? But here's the thing, it really does not. Joker has been intriguing us since it was first announced a few years ago. It's been playing at festivals across the globe to rave reviews, 8-minute standing ovations, nobody knows why, even won the best film at Venice Film Festival. So of course we're excited, and that's why our big question this week is, can the Joker film bring about a new era for the DC film universe?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good episode.
Great episode. But the point is, The Dark Knight worked really well. Some would even say it's the godfather of our generation. Do you think that they saw those films and said, yo, this is what worked. Let's try and recreate some of that spirit, some of that dark, gritty, the words that everybody hates using, but is kind of true about the DC universe. Do you think they tried to recreate that with this film?
It doesn't seem like they're going off of the Nolan template as much as Todd Phillips seems to be doing like a Scorsese template.
Yeah,
Because,
wouldn't be
it's the
exact
Robert De
replica.
Niro thing, the aesthetic of it.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is a Joker movie without Batman. So they're not taking superhero movies and saying, let's make them realistic and gritty and dark and all those things. They're saying, what if we just take the story of a man who's losing his mind and tell that story? So like the Joker is almost like a lens that they're putting on top of it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm excited about the fact that they're steering away from what has now been, 20 years-ish of people trying to hone the comic book movie craft.
Sure.
You know, like Marvel has really shown in that regard. Like in the traditional way of storytelling with comic book heroes and comic book myths and arcs like that. And I think The Dark Knight worked because it was appealing to people that have never picked up a comic book in their life. And that I think is going to probably fit the vibe for this movie as well.
Isn't it weird that Todd Phillips is making this movie?
Yeah.
It's a dark and gritty movie, but Todd Phillips made Old School and
exactly.
Hangover.
But I
and
mean,
like,
to that end, it's just challenging the norm, and I like that. It's been so long.
Well, you know why I feel that's because I think people who write or perform comedy always have a great grasp of tragedy, and there's an innate tragedy within the Joker storyline. If you follow, like, say, an arc from like The Killing Joke, where they had created a backstory where he was originally the Red Hood.
This movie seems very similar to The Killing Joke.
In terms of the backstory,
In terms of the backstory. He is playing someone who's trying to be a stand-up comedian but failing at it. But it also it's got like...
So most comedians.
Fair. I heard this movie starts with Joker waking up going like, what happened last night? And then the rest of it is him figuring it out.
Okay.
We now know this character really well. It's about time that we just shook things up a little bit.
Nice.
And so,
Yeah, but this is what actually interests me about the Joker movie. The Joker film. Joker film?
Joker film.
Joker film.
Mera naam Joker.
Todd Phillips' Joker. The fact that you can disregard stuff like there's an extended universe that we have to deal with, there are all these like interconnected threads, or there's 80 years of history, because essentially what this movie is doing is ignoring all of that and saying, let's just tell an interesting story about an interesting character.
I mean, wasn't it the same thing with Logan? Wasn't that like, you don't have to have seen the previous movie.
Exactly, or
but
Into the
it is
Spider-Verse.
long lasting.
Yeah.
It is long lasting. You're not going to see Hugh Jackman with the claws anymore because of what happened in Logan.
Yeah.
But you also don't have to see anything before Logan with Hugh Jackman in it to get Logan.
Yeah,
This
I mean,
is
that
very
movie
similar to
particularly
Logan in that
is
sense.
very much like a Western almost, right? Like it was based on one as well.
Before we get into our speculation on what they want to do, if we're asking if this is gonna kickstart a new era for DC, how do we feel about that? Because I'm kind of kicked about the idea that they could, like this, if this is successful and the model works, I don't personally think that DC has to go the MCU route
No.
at all.
I
just do more of these.
Yeah,
do
Agree.
more
all
stories.
So I think the DC Elseworlds has always been a thing. I think this is a really smart, it's like the Star Wars anthology film or, basically clubbing it under a different banner of films. I mean, I guess the Dark Knight series could be under that because it never had any sequel, it didn't have any spin-off, etc.
Right.
But I'm craving a unified DC interconnected story for the simple reason that the arcs which have been present in the comics for the last, I don't know how many years, are so good. They're comparable to the Marvel Cinematic, whether it's the Green Lantern Corps or the Sinestro Wars or any of that, like the Color Wars, in the Green Lantern stories. Those are amazing. There's a Rebirth storyline. Man, we've seen amazing, I'll tell you a good example of this. If we watch the DC animated, films, which we've been watching for years, they have started doing an interconnected thing,
While I agree that replicating the arcs from the comics would be great, and that's something that they can build to in the future, I'm kind of kicked about the fact that we'll get new stories.
Yes.
It's just a good breath of fresh air because
Yeah.
now I know we are all trained. When you watch a Marvel movie, you got to think a certain way and you have to appreciate character development in a certain
It's on
way.
rails.
Give us something new, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited now to see just
Look
DC,
at you guys.
DC,
Marvel,
give
they
me something
give and they give and they give, and then you're just like, give us something new. Don't you appreciate anything you love them 2,999. That's what it is. Anyway.
I like the Joker.
take it.
He puts a smile on my face.
All right. We're really excited. I mean, we haven't even gotten to talk about the, Matt Reeves' Batman film, which might have a Joker as well. So we don't know what that's going to be like. But for right now, Joker film is looking pretty good. So if you're excited for Joker film, or just excited by the Joker generally, then we have some amazing news for you. There's some amazing Joker merch that is there on the Fanhood store, so do check that out. We're not here to sell you product. You can do that yourself with your money. What we're going to talk about, which is your favorite Joker. That's what we're talking about. And not in a pack of cards, Dinkar.
Not in a pack of cards?
No.
There's so
from
many
all the,
great
now we're
ones.
going to list all of them out.
All right.
Jeebus.
Caesar Romero,
The OG.
the OG with white paint over mustache Joker.
I really like that Joker.
That's amazing. That's so good. All right?
I mean, Jared Leto's going method and Cesar Romero's like, I'm not shaving, paint over me.
Exactly, right? Jared Leto, who I think got the shot in the stick.
Yeah.
And here's why. I think Jared
Yeah.
Leto's a great actor.
Yeah.
Oscar winner.
Sure.
That means everything, guys. Oscar winning.
Once you win an Oscar, you can't act poorly.
I know exactly. Like
illegal.
now, when Gully Boy wins the Oscar, my God, hip hop is going to be like, I don't know what to say even. All right. But my point is, Jared Leto, we got Mark Hamill,
Yeah.
we got Jack Nicholson
Yeah.
as the gangster Joker.
The
from
Hammy
Tim Burton.
Nicholson.
Pick one. Pick one Joker to rule them all.
The Mark Hamill one.
I was going to say that.
Yeah,
No, but
I mean,
you know why it's not
kind
fair?
of it's not fair. Yeah.
You know
I
why
was
it's
gonna
not
say,
fair?
My favorite thing of Mark Hamill though is not actually the
animated
show, is the video
games. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that,
The video
yeah.
games.
They're
He has an unfair advantage
Yeah.
because of the fact that when you're playing, we're talking about the Arkham series of video games. When you play those games, one, it's Kevin Conroy and Mark,
Yeah.
and you're living with them. You're controlling the facts, so it feels a lot more.
I'm
more engaged with
I
that
will say
Joker,
this, that
you know?
the Mark Hamill Joker has had the opportunity to be the most versatile. He's played like a silly, fun kids cartoon Joker,
Yeah.
and he's played the most terrifying version of it. He's played the Killing Joke
Killing
version.
Joke.
So when we look at the live action Jokers, we see Jack Nicholson as the the gangster, like basically the crime boss kind of Joker. You see Jared Leto as a psychotic Joker and bad script Joker, and you see Heath Ledger as the anarchist. So there are different versions of these Jokers, but Mark
Yeah.
Hamill gets to play all of them.
I'm going
Yeah,
on screen
that's true.
Heath, but my real answer is Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
But
What about
unfair
you?
advantage.
What about you, Dinkar?
You know what? I'll take Jack Nicholson. I did already claim Mark Hamill, but I will take the Jack
Why
Nicholson.
why Jack Nicholson?
The museum scene where he just
So
like
good.
destroys
And he
precious
just-
art with like
so
goo.
good.
It's so
and
good.
there's a Prince
It's so-
soundtrack on that.
Yes.
So
correct.
yeah,
That's also unfair advantage.
it is unfair advantage. All right, so if you liked anything that we spoke about today, particularly the Joker or Joker film, make sure you book your tickets on the BookMyShow app, and also check out the Fanhood store where you can buy some of this merch. See you later, you nerds.